Normally I wouldn't know how to press this video, but this has been on my mind for a while. I do not understand, you know, anime fandoms as much as I should, and why people find it so overly complicated to make it about your own personal ego. Whether it is Dragon Ball, One Piece, My Hero Academia, or any other anime out there. And I understand you either think you know the story is going to go a certain way, even after it's concluded. You want a particular ship in that story to be a certain way, or you want the story to go a certain route, or even go darker than what you expect. And personally, I think it's kind of stupid. Why? Because every generation from the 80s to the 90s, early 2000s, even before social media existed, and even the 2010s, all had their own little anime fandom. Now, mind you, I would argue between the 80s, 90s, or the early 2000s was when anime fandom was still niche, but also at the same time, fandoms weren't as big as they are today. Everybody and their mother, I understand completely, have their personal feelings on how they feel about those fandoms. Like, for example, for me, with me being in the Dragon Ball community, it is more like a tribe of. It's more like, instead of it being a community, it's more like a set of tribes constantly at each other's throats trying to dictate who is wiser than the next person. And despite Akira Toriyama's passing, I understand everybody has their own personal vision on this story and how they want to see it go through, because Super's not done, despite the fact that the original manga back in 1984 is already concluded, and everything else that we've gotten up to this point with Super, uh, GT, Daima, the video games, and everything else have already just served as an extra story to an already concluded finish. So trying to argue and fight on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, and all these other places just to prove an ego is just not worth it. You're wasting away the energy you have on this planet just to prove a point, and that makes no sense. I mean, these are fictional characters, so it doesn't matter how you think, like, who's the strongest person in Universe 7. We already know it's Goku. It's always been Goku, because narratively that is where Toriyama has set his story from the start of it to the end of it. No matter how Super rephrases the situation, it's always going to be Goku, because Goku is the main MC. Now, in regards to One Piece and My Hero Academia, and wait, let me backtrack a little bit. Now, as far as the whole thing with Dragon Ball, I get it, but at the same time, you gotta learn to let that go. It's all fiction. It doesn't matter. Now, as far as My Hero and One Piece, I understand that a lot of those who are LGBT, who's of that environment in anime, have a certain feelings on this stuff. I understand that. I understand that. Like, you want certain characters in shonen to be gay, transgender, whatever. The thing is, this is a shonen series. Shonen manga writers are not going to focus on gay characters like that unless the gay character is the prime focus. Unless they create a character that is gay, trans, non-binary, or whatever. They will focus on that person because of the fact that that is a very critical part of their character. And because of the fact that a lot of people get so gung ho about that. I understand that. Really, I understand that. Both from a writing standpoint and a character standpoint. But at the end of the day, being gay, trans, binary, lesbian, none of that really matters because at the end of the day, you got to be more than that. Like, for example, two characters that I like in fiction who are gay, despite me, myself, I'm not gay and I never will be, are Dorian from Dragon Age Inquisition, because he's a gay character, but I liked him because he has a good personality, good character, and his abilities in the game are awesome. And then there's Solando from Dragon Quest XI. Those personality, like his personality, same thing. Now, despite me being, homosexual, I mean, not homosexual, my bad, heterosexual, and all of that, I look at the character like he is someone that I think is really cool. Like he's got a cool personality. He gets along with everybody else. There's not even a single mention of his lifestyle. Just like with the characters in Baldur's Gate 3. Like these are fictional characters. You don't need to get so gung ho over that. I understand it's a part of your hobby. You want to see, characters be to show off your lifestyle. And that's between you and the man upstairs, obviously. But at the same time, you don't need to lose yourself in your fiction so much so that you gotta basically send death threats to the author. Gotta hate the shonen series for what it is. Gotta flat out act like everybody has to kiss your butt, and act as if like, oh my God, how dare this author not do what I want. The thing is, if you really feel that passionate about this story, then truly make either a fan fiction or make your own story. That's all you have to do. Don't make it so much a giant ego trip. We all have to live on this planet with the pluses and minuses we do on this rock. And it's never easy. I get it. But what I would like is for us as a species, especially in the anime community, anime and gaming community, is to learn to actually be respectful towards each other. Less time spent being so energetic and hating each other for the stupidest things. Like, even since the whole Trump election, I get it. Everybody lost their minds prior to him being reelected. I get that. But at the end of the day, we have to all survive on this rock. We ain't got nowhere else to go yet. And despite Elon's promises of going to Mars, God only knows when the hell that'll happen. But for right now, as far as the anime and gaming community, I would want us to sit down, relax, breathe, and get to know each other, regardless of our situations in life. And that goes for both shonen anime enthusiasts, regular anime enthusiasts who aren't shonen fans, gaming in regards to people who just like any old game. And that includes your RPGs, your first-person shooters, your tactical games, your life simulators, and so on and so on. We have to find a way to get back together to honestly know how to talk to each other. I get it, I get it. I get it. Since I would say the time of, the 2010s, that's when all this division started, which I personally feel is something that should never have happened. And I feel like people have got to stop acting like such foolish people over fandoms. Like, over fandoms and communities. I mean, at the end of the day, whether it's anime or video games or a television show you really like, I get it. You can be passionate, but sometimes that passion comes at a heavy price. And sometimes I feel like it's so much more important to stop, think, relax. Don't go on a giant block mass spree on an author just because he didn't make your gay thing a reality. That is stupid. You got more to live on this planet than just worrying about two teenage boys sword fighting with each other. You got more to worry about your own real life future than just why this particular ship didn't happen. You got so much more stuff going on, and regardless of how people will hate others for it, or you want to get mad or block somebody, it's like, dude, stop. You're being a child. Take some time, get off social media, take a break. You do that, your life will be at least a minute better. Like, don't take all your stuff seriously, and for the sake of not just being a shonen fan and a non-shonen fan, truly have patience with people on both sides of the aisle. That's all I have to say. And God bless.